This Black Friday character is insane. Let's check him out. What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your breakdown of Steve Blackman, the Lethal Weapon. He is your Black Friday character for 2025, and he's got a couple different movesets we're going to take a look at. But first, he is an Attitude Era focused striker. So there's quite a number of those, but that hopefully means you'll have the shards, especially for this, to take him up. His links, just Attitude Era, so nothing there, and then the gear, but his coaching ability is something we got to talk about. At 35K, any color moves and gym effects. This is what I don't quite get all the way yet. We got to talk about it. Traps, countdown, juggernauts that deal damage will deal 100% more damage. So what I think this is saying is, deal damage for every trap, deal damage for every countdown. I think that's what this is getting at right here. Not just anything that does move damage specifically, but it is awkwardly worded, and I've asked for clarification just to make sure I think I understand it. But Slim, Rusty, and I all have a very different interpretation of what this exactly does. So we're going to have to play around with it before we figure it out. But either way, you have a coach that's now doing 100% all color move damage. That is already stinking insane. Right now, Gooker's your best at 75% all color, but now you can also pair Gooker and Blackman. And move damage builds are hopefully back with this. That's all I'm saying on this one. Wow. Wowzers. All right, so let's take a look here. The first move set that we are going to run, right there, is green, black. Now, as you might expect from a Black Friday special character and an S plus tier, he has very good moves. But this is actually another, I'm always amazed at how they create new ways to do moves within the game, because I'm always like, how are they going to keep doing this? There's 680 characters in the game. Everyone has 7 moves, so many combinations. How in the world do they keep coming up with stuff? But this one is different from what we've seen. So the bicycle kick, 3 MP green, deal damage, gain 10 black MP, then deal damage, and make 33 random gems into multiply gems of strength 2. Now, the strength 2 obviously is super low, but 3 MP, you're going to be able to deal with that. Pendulum Backbreaker, 3 MP green, deal damage, modify a 3x1 random area to 2-turn Juggernaut gems that will destroy 13 random multiply gems on every countdown turn, and then make 11 random multiply gems into strength 2 at the end of the countdown. So it destroys the multiply gems that are on the board, then creates new ones, which is what plays into the finisher. 10 MP black, but it doesn't matter because it's loaded by the 3 MP green. Deal 1,000,000 damage. Decrease your Juggernaut gem timers by 2. All Juggernaut effects will go into effect. Then, finisher. Now we've got the last layer of this. After all the Juggernaut gems have resolved, then you destroy 49 random multiply gems and pin the opponent. So you have multiple layers of lay down multiply gems, break them, lay down multiply gems, break them. It just breaks all color. He doesn't make anything into his primary color until we get to the plate, but still already crazy. So in the entourage, you need Armor King, or basically the one who does green, basically anybody who does 2 MP, but Armor King is your best spot there. Multiply gems will increase your strength by 2, and then this is all you need to load the green moves. You're done, right? Great. So then you can put Sherry in there. Multiply gems will increase their strength by 4. Seth Leonardo, multiply gems increase their strength by 3. And then the best one for this is going to be multiply gems 60 plus black gems. Or you could also use Bret Hart right here, or any of the other zombies. Not zombie Bret Hart, but the one that does multiply gems plus 35% to any color. And keep in mind, this LA Knight is not maxed, so we're giving up some damage right there, which is still it's just still insane, right? But double zombies is actually probably even going to be better than using Seth Leonardo just because the low damage on that. So keep that in mind. I'm going to show you that in just a minute when we do the next build on him, or next version of this build. So then I would recommend the best damage strap and medals that you've got. I would do an all gem damage here. Let me make sure that is maxed out. I didn't realize that was only given 8%. So we've been undershooting on a couple characters before here. So all color gem damage is going to be better on that one. And then for right now, we're just going to use the Ministry Business. Whenever you make 6 or more multiply gems, increase all your gem damage by 100%. You're going to see how hard it hits with this. But we do have Steve Blackman's new plate, which is called Steve's Sticks, I think. So it should be under the S's right there. Yeah, we are going to run that in just a moment. And yes, I will try the drip plate. I never do, but this is an S plus tier, super rare Black Friday character, so I will try it. Yeah. So let's go up against Sami Zayn. You can see this first build before we even get to anything else. This is just going to be already freaking insane, which is great. All right. So all you need to do is hit this one, which is going to load. Well, let me hit the button. There we go. That's going to load your finisher, plus it's going to drop a whole bunch of multiply gems. With Sherry and Seth out there, they are times 11, and you can see it clears a good portion of the board. Then you're going to do a 3x1 random area. You cannot create more juggernauts on there, so you can't make this do more, and it will overwrite some of your multiply gems inevitably. But that's fine. There's plenty on there. Now when we click the finisher, you're going to watch this happen. It's going to delete all of the gems, then it's going to put more of them out, then it's going to get them all again. Just watch. He's got 63 million health. I mean, you can already tell he's going to blow way through that. That was that's one of it looks like a TMNT. So there it blows him up. Now it puts him back. So we just did 85 million, right? Now we're going to blow up the board again. Boom. Which did another 102 million. So that's 185 million with nothing super crazy. I mean, the Ministry Business, yeah, is there, but you could obviously put a Royal Rumble plate, especially a black one or something like that, and do even more. But we are not done, because there is a new plate that goes with him, which is just crazy, and I want to watch how it works, because the way his moves trigger, oftentimes they make these plates and they're not good on the person that, they actually make them for, but then somebody else later comes out and they're good for it. This one is actually really good on him. So whenever you make 6 multiply gems, increase your black gem damage by 200% for 1 turn. And when you break 6 multiply gems, generate 30 black gems at the end of your turn. So much better than the Ministry Business, but very specifically to your black gem damage, and then you're throwing out your black gems. So depending on how this falls, it's going to depend on how many multiply gems we're turning black, or if we're turning any of them black at all. But as you already saw, we easily did 180 million. So even if it just hits afterwards, it will have buffed twice. So you should be hitting 400% on black gems. And if any of them hit multiply, well, yeah, game on. So same thing. I'm just going to run through it quick because you don't need to see it now. You just need to see the end results. But there's our first set. That is a good amount of times 11s right there. I'm just saying. Just good. All right, there's the 2s. All right, so let's watch this hit, and let's see when it throws the black gems, because that's what's really going to determine how this goes. So we've broken them there. Now we make more. Now we do our finisher again, apparently. We're going to break those. There we go. Now we throw the black gems after, but the black gems have been buffed 200%, which throws it twice. It should be 400% actually, sorry. So that was 130 million that time. So now we're well over the 200 million mark. But wait, I never use this plate. I never do. It doesn't exist for the majority of the player base. However, this is an S plus tier character, super, super rare, so I'm not even pretending we're doing free-to-play builds on this. I am going to throw the Dominator's Drip because he only uses one black move, but depending on how it triggers, it could be all you need. Because if this triggers at the end, if it triggers at all, I mean, we're going to have to watch for that. But if it triggers at the end with this plate combination, it might just be a little bit spicy, like just a little insane. So let's throw this guy out. Boom. There we go. Not a black move. They were very smart to not go black, black, green, because otherwise, this would be game over. You'd have all those extra multiplies on there. But there we go. All right, now let's watch for when the ×7s drop. Very specifically looking for when the ×7s drop, or if they even do. So there we go. Okay, there's 11. I don't see any ×7s on the board. There they are. So they dropped right there. So you do still break them before you get the blacks. So they did it smart so that way you can't put black multiply at the very end. But still. So now we were at 130 on the second hit. Now we're at 170 million on the second hit. So you're talking about 250 million that you can get up to if you add everything together, and it dropped ×7s again on the end, which would just be nice for your loot boxes. So there's his first move set. That is very clearly the one that is built for his new plate. It's very clearly the one that most people are going to use. However, he does have a pretty spicy one that does his primary color, so let's take a look at that one next. All right, the second move set is going to use the exact same set of trainers if you use Armor King. If not, then you need to switch to the Black Plus, which I think is Damian Priest Judgment Day, if I remember correct. But either way, this one is very strategically designed, and I like it because you actually do not want to use the drip plate with this one. Like if you were all geeked out about the drip plate on the last one, this moveset actually defeats that, and I'll show you why. So you've got the spinning crescent kick, 3 MP black move, deal damage, gain 10 yellow MP, and it's also a reversal if the opponent generates any trap gems, so remind me not to go against him on tour, then deal 5 million damage and convert all of the trap gems into power gems of strength 4 million and steal the opponent's turn. So that should not be a multiplier logo, that should be a trap logo right there, or a power gem logo. Then you've got the shoot kicks, 9 MP, but it's okay, it's loaded by the yellow. Deal damage, make a 1/6 random area into multiply gems of strength 38. And then the yellow, 10 MP, spinning background house, finisher, deal 1 million damage and make 6 multiply gems into black gems and pin the opponent. So you don't want to use the drip, because if you do, you're going to create more black gems than the 6 that are multiplies, and you're going to end up breaking the ×7s instead of the ×38, which obviously is a smaller number to break, so you don't want that. Entourage is going to be the exact same. You're literally doing the exact same kind of setup as you are on the other one, just instead of the Juggernaut gems, you're just laying down the 1/6 multiply and then breaking them. You can still use Steve Blackman's plate. They did design it specifically for him so that when you break 6 multiply gems, so it is going to increase your black gem damage, which means that it might be better on this build. We'll have to see. And when you break 6 multiply gems, then you create 30 at the end. So you're still buffing them, but now you're breaking those ×38s, which are going to be buffed by Sherry and Seth Leo and etc. And the black gems are going to get buffed as you do it, because you're breaking them after you make them. So there is a distance between that, so you are going to buff those gems. So it doesn't seem like it would be as hard hitting as the other moveset, but I promise you it will be. And I don't have a black right here, so I'm not going to put that on there, but that actually keeps us kind of samey anyway, so that's not a bad thing. So once again, we're going to go up against Zombie Sammy, and nicely, these two both block trap gems, so hopefully neither of them uses trap gems. Yeah, anyway. All right, so you're going to trigger your black move. Again, do not use the drip on this. Do not do it. You're going to end up hating the fact that you did it. Then you're going to make the 1x6 into strength 47 power gems. And he's got the yes kicks going. Boom. These are 47s. Your black gems by themselves are doing 449. These black gems are doing 23 million, right? 516. 23 million. 23 million a piece. Oh my goodness. So we're going to deal damage, then we're going to make these black, then we're going to throw our stuff out. It's just nuts. Watch this. It's not as many gems. It's not as exciting as the other build, but you do the hits, boom and boom. It's not going to show us individually. 168 million right there. So yeah, it's not 250, but it's quicker. It's easier. You're not throwing anything else out. You're not risking Juggernaut gem damage, getting blocked or anything like that. So yeah, 170 million. Yeah. That one is pretty darn good. And that's pretty straightforward. That's the moveset right there. So he does have one other thing we're going to take a look at. I don't like it as much, but it's there. So we'll just take a look at it real quick as well. So technically, he actually has two more setups that work. This one is just kind of interesting, though. It's the Dodging Enziguri. We haven't seen that move yet. It's 3 MP green. Deal damage. Choose a 1x3 area to make into power gems of strength 4 million. So you're doing another 12 million on each hit. Then deal damage and increase your move dodge chance by 100% for 1 turn. So there is usage with the turtle plate with that, but most people don't have that, so I won't show it. Bicycle kick, then we already saw. It's the one that does 10 MP black and then deals damage, makes your 33 random gems to multiply strength 2, and then the diving front kick, which we already saw, which is going to trigger the Juggernaut gems. That's not going to do any good, but that is going to then deal damage and destroy the multiply gems. So you move these together, and even though you're not doing the Juggernauts, you then are doing the power gems. But 12 million on the power gems, enough to make up the difference between the Juggernaut build? I don't think so. You could, of course, buff the power gems, but why would you buff the power gems when the multiply gems are going to be so much bigger anyway? So I'm going to keep these trainers on there, but absolutely you can use the power gem setup if you want. In fact, I'll run through it both ways just so you can kind of see it, and we're going to keep the same plate that we have each time, which is his big plate on there, and we'll just kind of show that. He does also have a submission, but again, it goes into the power gems, it goes to black. It's fine. There's some things you can do with it, but especially just given the amount of time that I've got to be able to work on this, I'm not going to show that one today. I might later, but either way, if you want to run that one, you absolutely can. So now you're going to throw down the power gems and the multiply gems. So you're going to break the multiply gems, which is also going to trigger the power gems on that as well. So you're doing an extra 4 million. So with all the trainers we had before, we can do apples to apples comparison and just kind of show what it does. So that breaks them. Boom, and then you're also throwing out these afterwards, so it's triggered once, now it's triggered again, except it got hit. So it's 99 million, the way things kind of fell. So, again, you're going from your first moveset we did to the second moveset to the third moveset. You're going down in power every single time. However, it is still a pretty spicy build compared to like most posters in the game. If you hit 100 million, you're like, man, this is one of the best ones, and that one was at 100 million basically. So there you go. Now if you go away from the multiply gems, again, I don't know why you would, but if you went to Turtle Kofi and that Raphael and that one. So now we've moved away all of the multiply gem damage except this one here. And then the black gems aren't buffed, etc., etc. So I would anticipate this to be our lowest hit. I haven't run this one yet, so I don't know what the actual hit is, but I'm pretty sure the math doesn't work comparatively. So, again, apples to apples across the board. We'll just check it out real quick, and then I'll give you my thoughts on Steve Blackman, which I hope you can already anticipate what I'm going to say, because Yeah, it's not hard to hide how good this guy is. So now instead of times 11, these are times 4. You're going to trigger the plate, or trigger the power gems, that is, right here. Boom, there you go. Then you're going to buff them. Actually, the plate screws them over because it doesn't trigger them. So it does right there. So yeah, we still wiped him out turn 1 with everything. So actually, I think his plate is actually hindering this just a little bit. Let me one last time since it's so quick, and I'll just take off his plate so we can kind of see, again, what's the best comparison comparatively. Yes, those are words that mean the same thing. Good job, Lee. All right, the comparisons that are comparatively compared will be compared when we run this moveset one last time. All right. Okay, so now this time we shouldn't break the power gems. The power gems didn't trigger when we broke the multi, so it doesn't trigger them until the end of your turn, which is why the first time these actually got wiped entirely. So that 100 million was kind of useless compared to what we're doing, because this is going to hit. Now you're going to hit the multiply gems and then trigger those 3 times 4,000 guys right there. See, there it is. Now, wait, was that 228 million? There's no way. If that was 228 million, then that's by far his best build. What the heck? Hold on. Run it back. Hold on. There's no way that was 228 million. It just can't be. I wish Scopely would put commas in this game so bad. Commas are all we need, Scopely. That is the single greatest quality of life improvement you could ever do on this game. All right, let's try this. Hit one more. And then all I want to see is the big number at the end. That's all I want to see. Somebody can screenshot it just in case. All right, so there's that. I mean, 62 million health is going to be going away. I'll have to look at that. That might have been 268. If so, then why would you run anything else and you don't need his plate? That's crazy. Either way, he's done. He's done. So we did well more than the 60 million you need to finish him off. So what do I think about Steve Blackman? Well, obviously, he is a top tier Black Friday character. Easily one of the best Attitude Era strikers. I mean, yeah, it's just not even close. Like, Haku and him are probably the 2 best, and I mean, he's better than Haku. So I mean, best striker in the game, probably. Yeah, multi-gems always hold on. Now he's times 2 to start, so you got to buff him up a lot. But either way, I mean, just solid all the way around. So if you get this character, you are absolutely in the money for that one. And you probably spent a bit of money to get him. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to Champions Chat, and then send this to your friend or faction mate who needs to see this, because there's some really good ways to run him. And you guys need to tell me in the comments, was the commas wrong? Like, did he hit 230 million with just the power gem build? That can't be, right? I don't know. Check it out. Let me know in the comments section. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.